Breaking news, the Rockets just robbed the NBA as they have signed an absolute demon on the defensive side of the ball in Josh Okogie. We tell you the details of this deal and why the Rockets continue to win the offseason right here on Rockets Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning into the show as always. And let's get right to the report. Shams Charania breaks the news. Free agent forward Josh Okogie has agreed to a one-year, $3.1 million deal with the Houston Rockets. Okogie enters his 8th NBA season and gives the Rockets another active wing defender who averaged 6.3 points over 416 games in his career. Now, we have a lot to talk about Okogie and this deal and why it is such a steal for the Houston Rockets, but this right here is why you subscribe. When breaking news happens for the Houston Rockets, we get it out to you first. And yet 77% of you choose not to subscribe just yet. You're breaking my heart here. If you're new, you're not subscribed, today is the day. Go down there and hit that subscribe button so you never miss any more Rockets news, because we got you covered here on Rockets Digest. Let's continue on here. Shams Charania followed up his tweet with kind of an interesting stat. I'll start with that. But he says Rockets officials and agent Calvin Andrews of Clutch Sports negotiated the new deal for Okogie, who averaged a career-high 1.2 steals and ranked 4th in steals per 36 minutes among players to appear in 40 games or more last season. What kind of stat is that, first of all, Shams? But either way, it's a nice one. He's a very good steal guy. And funny enough, we've talked about a guy on the Summer League, Cameron Matthews, who was the leader in steals at Mississippi State. It seems like the Rockets want a guy who can steal the basketball away. Okogie is that guy. His defensive rating is very, very talented and very, very good, and I'm excited to see what he can do with the Houston Rockets. Now, we take a look at his stats from last season. He had 15.6 minutes per game, 7.1 points a total across, again, 40 games when you talk about his time with the Charlotte Hornets and the Phoenix Suns. He did play last season with Kevin Durant and now reunites with him in Houston. 2.8 rebounds per game, and the steals per game obviously is the big one. 1.2 steals per game, which may not seem like a lot, but the NBA average is less than 1, so he is definitely doing a lot better than the NBA average. Field goal percentage, all right. 3-point percentage is not good. He is not a 3-point shooter really at all. If he shoots a 3, it's going to be in the corner. So that's kind of the big thing with him is they're not going to let him shoot the 3, but he is going to be a defensive menace. And I continue to look at the Houston Rockets roster and think, goodness, is anybody going to score on these guys? Like, nobody is going to score. We talk about Josh Okogie and his defensive rating of 113.3 in his entire career. And this is actually a little balloon because in one season he had a 115 defensive rating. Lower is better in this preface that. He had a 115 rating in one of his seasons. So his defensive rating, besides that one season, is around 112. Now, if you're thinking, well, what's good? Well, here are the averages for each position for defensive rating. 116 for point guards, 116 for shooting guards. For the small forward position, which is what Okogie technically is listed as, it is a 115.8. So he is 2 points lower in that defensive rating than a small forward. Even for the power forward position, he's a whole point lower. The only average that is better is the center position, which centers are defensive guys. That's kind of expected throughout the entire NBA. Now, Okogie is a guy that is going to come in and play right away for the Houston Rockets in a depth role, but I have to say, I've talked so much about a point guard, but maybe I've been looking at this all wrong. Maybe what the Rockets are trying to do is develop a different style of team. Develop a team where you are not going to be able to score easily on them. Where no matter who is on the court, there is not going to be a time where you are going to have an easy time scoring. And maybe that's because of the way that the Golden State Warriors handled that 7-game series. Not to say that they did well on the offensive side, but maybe the Rockets thought they could have done better on the defensive side of the ball. Because whenever you lose in a series like that, the next season, yes, you're trying to improve and make your team better in all facets, but you can't help but look back at that series and say, what happened? How did we lose? In Game 7, too, when we were the number 2 seed, like what happened? And maybe it's the defensive side of the ball that they said, that's what we saw, and we are going to make it better. So now that we have Josh Okogie officially signed, the Rockets have like no money left, by the way. Their new cap space is like $0.5 million, I'm pretty sure. So, not much in the bank there. So they have one roster spot still available. I would have to expect that's going to be somebody from the Summer League roster. I can't tell you who that would be just yet, but here is the 14-man roster. Again, you're allowed 14-man for Josh Okogie included. Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, KD, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Şengün, as mentioned, are going to be your starting five. Obviously, VanVleet, Thompson, the guards. Durant Jr., Jabari Smith Jr. are your forwards, and then Şengün is going to be your center. The backup guards, Reed Sheppard and Aaron Holiday, so no change with the guard position. And again, like I've said, I wanted a guard for this entire time. At this point, there's really no shot of that, but that's the way they want it. Now, if you look at the forwards, this is where Okoji comes in. Tari Eason and Josh Okogie are listed as the backup small forwards, so we'll see him there. We could also see him at the power forward position here and there, as Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be backing up Jabari Smith Jr., and then obviously Jae'Sean Tate is the depth role at that position. And for centers, you are 3 deep with Alperen Şengün, Steven Adams, and Clint Capella. And I look at this roster, and I said this before they signed Okoji, but I feel it's important to say again. The Houston Rockets have the best depth in the NBA, and it's not even close. You talk about the team that won the NBA championship last year in the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are great. They have a lot of good depth. But you get past, the big guys on the top of their roster, the bottom is a little bit less. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Alex Caruso is a bad player. I'm not going to say that at all. He's a very good depth player, but he was their 6th man. Whereas if you look at this Rockets roster, I fully believe they are 2, maybe even 3 deep, especially at the forward position. You think about forwards, they have Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, Josh Okogie, Dorian Finney-Smith. That is absolutely insane to me that they have acquired that many forwards of that talent and that defensive minded. DFS is a 3-and-D forward or /wing defender. Josh Okogie is a very good defender. Kevin Durant, not so much. Jabari Smith Jr. working on the defense as well. And we know how Ime Udoka likes his team. If you cannot play defense, he will not play you. And he made that very clear with the way the Rockets went about this offseason. So that is our new 14-man roster. And people across the media landscape are reacting to this. A Lakers reporter who, obviously saw us get DFS said this: "My goodness, the Rockets have had an incredible summer. Now another defensive wing to throw at teams." Yep, that's exactly right. We have another defensive wing that we are going to bring out and just absolutely mammoth onto teams on the defensive side of the ball. I'm very excited to see, because last year I think the average for opponents against the Rockets were like 98 points, 99 points, maybe 97. Honestly, with the team we have, I think it might be a disappointment to see a team score more than 94 points against us this upcoming season. Like, that's how good of a defensive team this is. Kevin Durant may not be as young and as agile as he is and not really known for his defense, but the rest of the roster is very much known for their defense. You talk about Amen Thompson, the first team defense, DFS, now Josh Okogie to add into all this. We look at Okogie's stats. Obviously, the past season, he spent time with Phoenix and Charlotte, playing in 40 games. Obviously, we know the steal stat at 1.2, but more importantly, if you look at previous seasons with Phoenix, 6 points, 4.6 points, and then, of course, his young years with the Minnesota Timberwolves, 7.7, 8.6, 5.4, and 2.7. His steals have always been great. He averaged 1.8 steals with the Charlotte Hornets this year, 1.2 total on the season, and averaged 1.2 and 1.1 in his first 2 seasons in the league. So definitely a guy that is going to steal the basketball. His rebounding, relatively solid, nothing like crazy to write home around for a forward position. The 3-point percentage is not good. If I'm Ime Udoka, I'm like, unless you are wide open in the corner, don't take the 3. Drive, do something. Like, let's not be doing that with the 3 ball, especially when you look at the stats. And he shoots a lot of 3s, which he really shouldn't. But either way, that's neither here nor there. He's brought on for his defensive presence. That is the reason that they sign him. And so now the Rockets are out of money. Like I've said this a couple times, but there is no more money for them to spend. Like, I've seen the comments, Malcolm Brogdon, Russell Westbrook, stuff like that. Yeah, that would be great, but they don't have money. Like, unless there is a trade with Reed Sheppard or somebody, there's no money coming off the books, and the Rockets have 14 men on their roster. That 15th man is going to be placed with the Summer League or something of that nature. So, yeah, I see this being the last move of the offseason for the Houston Rockets, and I think it's a good one. So, with that being said, we now look at the Houston Rockets offseason as a quote-unquote whole. Again, there's still plenty of things that could happen. I say that they're out of money. There's exceptions to the money. There's veteran minimums. There's other things that they could do to still sign people. Now, the additions they've made, Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith, Clint Capella, and now Josh Okogie. And they lost Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Cam Whitmore, and Jock Landale. Jock Landale, not too much to say about him. Cam Whitmore, I think it was an interesting trade. I have seen mixed opinions on whether it should have been Reed Sheppard or Cam Whitmore traded. I think at this point we obviously see that they believe in Reed Sheppard wholeheartedly because they said guard? No. We have Reed Sheppard. We're fine. We're going to get Josh Okogie actually. Like they have full and utter belief in Reed Sheppard. So Cam Whitmore, good luck to him in the Washington Wizards. I think he's going to be a very good player in the NBA. Dillon Brooks, it was sad to see him and Jalen Green go. Obviously, they were both a big part of the rebuild, and it was sad, but at the same time, we got Kevin Durant, so how sad can I actually be? Well, what a signing for the Houston Rockets. Josh Okogie is officially a member of your H-Town team. And what a time to be a Rockets fan. They continue to make move after move after move, but now is it done? I really don't know. There's still some moves they can make. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll keep you updated on everything related to the Houston Rockets. But for now, that's all we got for you. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new, because we get breaking news to you out as soon as it comes out. We appreciate you watching. As always, we'll see you next time here on Houston Rockets Digest. Peace out, guys.